Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm recording this at about 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. As I'm sure you've all noticed, let me just go through these announcements real quick. I did post the next packet of exit tickets. So as you can see, all of these are about how to solve quadratic equations. The very first exit ticket is based on lesson 21.1. The homework's posted for it as well. And again, thank you those of you that already did it. You're ahead because you did it before I even posted the lesson. Those of you that haven't done it, you're probably going to realize that you've already practiced this before. It's how to solve a quadratic equation, specifically by factoring. So this whole topic, and pretty much from now until the end of the year, we're wrapping up with this type of stuff, is quadratics and how to solve them. There are multiple ways to solve quadratics, so that's something to keep in mind. The easiest, most basic way, which again we've already covered a couple times before, is how to solve a quadratic by factoring. Right? So we're just going to go over that. This is a super short lesson. Once you're done with this, going through this video, my recommendation is to go ahead and do the homework and the exit ticket if you haven't already done them. And again, reminder, those are already posted in your Google Classroom, and I also posted a video yesterday on how to do them. So if you don't know how to do the exit ticket, watch the video. I explained it. It's basically just write it out on paper and take a picture, whatever, and submit it that way. Okay? One more thing I should mention. If you're watching this the day I post this, which should be before 10 o'clock, also a reminder that I will be live on Zoom at 11 a.m. today. Live session on Zoom at 11. That invite is also posted in Google Classroom already for you all. If you have any questions, how to do problems, please log in. Also, I should say, if you just want to log in because you want to see your friends, that's fine too. It is an actual session that will be recorded, so don't say inappropriate things and be dressed, right? All right. So here's your I can statement. So for your own purposes, for your own notes, go ahead and write them down. For those of us that are literacy challenged, I can let Ms. Ragosa know. She can help you out. But otherwise, I'll read it out loud for you. This says, I can evaluate solutions to quadratic equations by factoring. There are two examples of the type of equations you should be able to do by the end of this lesson. And again, for those of you that have already done this, thanks. You probably recognize that those are actually from your exit ticket for today that match this lesson. Alright, so I'll read this out. So to factor an equation, and this is on the left side, x squared plus bx plus c. So that, remember, is a quadratic equation in standard form. Typically, we would write ax squared, whatever, same thing. And it says that you need to find two factors of c whose sum is b. So again, what we've already done before, and you're really just doing the exact same thing, is you're finding numbers that multiply to c but add up to b. So multiply to be equal to the last number, that add up to b, the number in the middle. If you can't find those numbers, and assuming you actually tried every single possibility, that just means it's not factorable. So not every equation is factorable. For our purposes, we're going to assume for now that they are all factorable. Okay? So look at the example at the bottom middle left right there. So the example says x squared plus 9x plus 20. And typically that would say, actually, this would actually say right here, this would actually say equals 0. But that's not there because they've actually gone ahead and factored this out to this and this. So x plus 4 and x plus 5 are the factors. Now, what that means, of course, is that 4 times 5, that's how you get the 20. And then 4 plus 5, that's how you get the 9. That's what the whole thing in the top left says. How do you check your work? Reminder, because again, we've already done this. Checking your work is very simple, and you should do it on every single problem. Checking your work is as simple as foiling it back out. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to FOIL this out. So first times first, that's x times x, that's x squared. Outside times outside, 5 times x, that's 5x. Inside times inside, plus 4x. And last times last, plus 20. Remember to keep the sign, so since everything's positive, when you multiply positive times a positive, of course everything is positive. These two terms here, they're like terms, 5x and 4x, add them together, and that's how you get the 9x. So we can see here that they factored it correctly.
Now, in general, let's say you didn't know that. Let's say you're looking at the original problem back over here, and you're like, oh man, how did they go from 9x plus 20? How did they know that 4 and 5 were the answers? Because maybe you don't know off the top of your head that 5 times 4 is 20 and 5 times 5 is 9, right? So what you're doing, and that's what they do over here on the right-hand side, is they're writing it out, all the possible factors of 20. So the first thing you got to know is that you're looking for things that multiply to 20. So what are things that multiply to 20? Well, 1 times 20 is 20, 2 times 10 is 20, and 4 times 5 is 20. Then you ask yourself, out of those ones, which ones add up to 9? 20 times 1 is 20, but when you add them together, you get 21, not 9. That's not the answer. These add up to 12, so that can't be the answer. So the only ones that multiply to 20 and add up to 9 are the 4 and the 5. And in general, that's what you can do on any problem. You can write out the factors and then see how they add up, if they add up correctly. So this slide points out the fact that, okay, if it's all positive, then that means you're going to have a positive times a positive. That's the only way you're going to get a positive and a positive. If you look at the example in the middle, there's a positive and the negative. So two numbers that multiply to a negative, that means that one of them has to be a positive, one of them has to be a negative. But if they add up to a positive, then that means the bigger number is positive. And so let me work these out with you. Please feel free to stop the video and practice these on your own if you think you know what you're doing. Otherwise, I'm going to work them out for you. So again, my recommendation, pause the video, try getting them on your own, and then see what I did. All right, so the first one. I'm looking for two factors. I know first times first is x squared right there, so I know it's going to be x times x. Now then I see they're going to add up to a positive and they're going to multiply to a positive. So I'm going to go ahead and guess correctly that both of these have to be positives. Then I have to ask myself two numbers that multiply to 16, so I'm just going to write it out so I show the work. So I know that 16 times 1 will give me 16. I know that 8 times 2 will give me 16. 8 times 2, I can't think. 4 times 4 will give me 16. And right off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else. Because, of course, I can flip these around, right? So I could get like 2 times 8 instead of 8 times 2, but that's the same thing. Now, which one of these add up to 8? So remember, these all multiply to 16, but if I add these up, this would give me 17, not 8. This would give me 10, not 8, but these would add up to 8. So 4 times 4 is 16, but 4 plus 4 is 8. So I know that 4 and 4 are my factors, and I don't know why that happened. There we go. So I know that those are my factors, right? And for those of you that remember the previous lessons, of course, you can use zero product property, right? And be like, oh, well, x plus 4 equals 0, subtract 4, and you get x equals negative 4, and you get the same thing here. So you get a double negative 4. That's it. That's how you factor. I'll do the second one, and again, pause the video if you haven't worked it out yet, so you can work it out on your own. I'm just going to erase this so I have some space. There. So this one, again, this is like a pretend equals 0, right? So I'm looking for two factors again. I know first times first has to give me x squared. That's right there. But now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 16 but add up to positive 6. So think about this. All right, well, similar to what I just did, right? But I have 8 times 2, but let's put a negative there, right? And I think I just got lucky on my first try. So let's think about this. 8 times negative 2 multiplies to negative 16. Positive times negative is negative, but when you add them up, 8 plus negative 2 is the same thing as 8 minus 2, which is positive 6, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So this actually worked out. So that's going to be x plus 8, positive 8, and x minus 2. Negative 2, those are my factors. And I should have done this on the other problem too, I forgot. But remember, you can always check your work by foiling, right? So I don't really have space for this, but first times first, that would give me x squared, outside times outside, that's minus 2x. Inside times inside, that's, whoa, where are we going? Go back, there we go. That's going to be, where was I? Inside times inside, so that's plus 8x, and then last times last, that's minus 16. Combine like terms, negative 2, positive 8, that gives you the positive 6. So I know we did this right. And then remember, zero product property basically says I set each of these equal to 0. So this is like x plus 8 equals 0. So it's going to
positive 8, and then I have x. My marker is terrible. Alright, so x minus 2 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides. X equals positive 2. So there are my solutions. My two solutions. Alright, and then finally the example on the right-hand side. Notice that it says x squared plus 2x equals 8. The only thing you got to do, of course, is move this back over there to positive 8. So what you're going to do is you're going to subtract 8 from both sides. So it'll be x squared plus 2x minus 8. So I'm not going to work that out. Try it on your own. If you get stuck, post a question in Google Classroom. Or a reminder, I will be live in Zoom. So I'm just going to leave you with these 3 problems. These are, think about them as challenge problems. See if you can factor them on your own. And actually, I'm going to give you a bonus to see if you're active or not. If you post the answers to these correctly, let's say work it out on your own paper, take a picture of it, and post it as a comment on this YouTube video. If you post the answers to these before I go live at 11, so you've got about roughly an hour and a half by the time I actually post this video. If you post the answers to these as comments before 11 a.m. today, Tuesday, March 31st, I will excuse you from the homework for this lesson. So it's a little bonus to those of you that are actually awake and doing this when you should be doing it. Alright? Otherwise, have a great day. I'm going to shut this off and post this, and I hope to see you all